Welcome into I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. This is our NFL Week 11 picks episode. Tyson's pointing to the Eagles flag. We're recording on Thursday. You're hearing this on Friday. The Philadelphia Eagles have beaten the Washington Commanders. Huge for us. And just a great game. A slow start, but great game. But Tyson, we'll get into that early next week. That's what we do. We react to everything in the NFL. This is our gambling episode. And, sir, you have been on a heater.
I'm doing my best. I got to pick myself up from college, but it's me, and I can't take a bunch of credit. It feels like this is a year the books are getting cooked.
Oh, well, they're cooking my ass. So maybe I'm a book and undercover. So let's take a look at last week. I actually did have a pretty good week, Tyson. I'm not going to lie. Finally, up 2.23 units. Needed that. Went 4-2. Eagles team total over 27.5. That was an alt number plus 140. Bills team total over 26.5 plus 105. Got home. Then we got Jags plus 7. No clue how that won. I mean, just completely absurd. That's how I knew it was my week. I'm like, no way the Jags are covering. This is insane. And then got the teaser of the Steelers plus 9, 49ers down to a half. That home, Falcons Saints over 46. Back-to-back weeks at the Falcons, I'm like looking at like, how the hell did that game not go over? So that was my first loss. And then Bears pick them, Panthers plus 12.5. Panthers was the good side here. Bears just did not show up. I couldn't believe they were laying 6.5 when you watch those teams back. So I got the wrong side of that. But hey, where I've been, 4-2, 2.23 units. We will take that in the positive side.
And this is a Bryce Young podcast, people. I went 4-1 plus 3.06 units here. I got the play of the week. Eagles team total over 26.5. Broncos plus 7.5. Giants, Panthers under. Steelers money line was a really fun one to be on the right side of. And then if they just score in the red zone there at the end of the game for the Bucs, I thought I was going to have a 5-0 week. Unfortunately, I get hooked there. You know what? We'll take a 4-1.
And Tyson has been hot. I have not. I'm down 12, still down 12.51 units on the year. It has not been a good year for your boy. Tyson's up 4.92 though, so he's looking to crack the 5 spot. We're down 7.59 as a podcast. So I just got to get hot. Tyson's carrying the team. I see another good week, and let's just keep this rolling, Tyson. So without further ado, let's start looking ahead to this week.
It's money-making time.
I forgot about the video.
Well, that's because you're jumping ahead, man, because even though I had a good week, you are not relenting the tee box because you had a better week than me.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is sometimes you walk up to the tee box with the driver and you want to just absolutely crush one. But this week for the play of the week, I'm taking 5-iron, man. I'm hitting one out there, 215 yards, right smack dab in the middle of the fairway. Give me the Packers off the bye against the lifeless Bears. I know they're going on the road. I'm not afraid of this number. I think that this offense cooks this week, and I don't think the Bears – I think Jeff Hafley sat back and started licking his lips over the bye week after watching some of the Chicago offense tape. I think that the Green Bay rolls.
Oh, man. I did not have the stones to take that, Tyson. I think I'm regretting it because maybe I'll add that in on my own personal, but I can't give it out. But I am going to do is for my play of the week is Dolphins team total over 27.5 plus 130 on DraftKings. Need the offense to roll. They're facing a Raiders team coming off a bye, which does scare me a little bit. But without Christian Wilkins, I'm just not too scared of this Raiders defense. I mean, I think, Tua's finding the rhythm a little bit. The Tyreek Hill wrist injury continues to be baffling. This offense, I don't know, like Mike McDaniel seems like a way different play caller. It's super strange, but I think this is the week that they can finally erupt and score some points. Like Tua's back in the rhythm, like I said. I think, Devon Achane is starting to figure some things out as the RB1. Mostert is doing some things as the RB3 that looks good. So the ball's moving. It's just they got to get into the end zone and figure that out. I think that happens this week. They're going to score at least 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and when you play the Raiders, you might find a free one. So that's not a bad spot to be.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going with Brian Flores to heat up Will Levis and just let it rip. I think that this is some positive regression maybe from a week ago when they could not get the football in the end zone. I think this is a week where they can exploit some of the things Tennessee doesn't do very well on defense. And then again, I think that just blitz, get Will Levis feet moving and get him kind of trigger happy, and you can force a ton of turnovers.
Yeah, this does feel like, the regression is going in a positive variant state for this Vikings team because last week they moved the ball at will and wow, that game was nuts. Tyson, this is huge. I might be a sucker. I'm laying 13.5 minus 115 on FanDuel with the Detroit Lions against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care if it's Trevor Lawrence. I don't care if it's Mac Jones. Also, did you see that when it was +7 when Lawrence was in, it was +7 when Lawrence was out? I mean, there was no downgrade from Trevor Lawrence to Mac Jones. It's kind of crazy from an odds maker perspective. I mean, they covered last week. They didn't look good doing it. But Tyson, if the Lions are going to beat the Texans on the road, in that game script, in that scenario, while Jared Goff throws 5 picks, what are they going to do when he doesn't? This is a sucker play. This might be the most heavily bet public play of the weekend. I don't care. Just based on what we just saw, I don't know how you can't take the Lions here. So this might move to 14. If it does, I'd take it 14. Probably wouldn't take it 14.5, but 14 and under. This is a smash.
We're in that weird spot of the year where sometimes it does feel like NFL teams are 2 touchdowns better than each other. This is a common college thing, but it's pretty rare in the NFL. And the Lions have been they hit these. I'm going under in the Falcons-Broncos game. You mentioned that it's another week that you looked at the Falcons over and just thought, how did this not hit? I think that I'm trying to learn here from a little bit from what we've been seeing. They've been moving the ball well. I think this Broncos defense poses real problems. I think this Broncos offense might have found a little something with a little ground control with Audric Estime moving forward. Sean Payton mentions you're going to give him more carries. I think this might be a clock burner kind of football game.
For me, Tyson, I'm going to take a scary one, and I'm going to go Colts-Jets over 43.5 minus 105 on FanDuel. So Joe Flacco gets benched. It's back to Anthony Richardson. I actually think that's the right call for this matchup this week because the Jets suck at stopping the run. And when you bring in Anthony Richardson, that's going to open up everything for Jonathan Taylor. I think Anthony Richardson, he had that hip pointer, taking a couple weeks off, a lot of them get 100% healthy. And this is a boomer bust type of quarterback. And so I'll take that on and over. Like, people think both these offenses are bad. Yes, they've been bad, but the positive upside that we can get from the running attack from the Colts against this Jets defense is certainly bad. And then Tyson, if you're just going to sit and cover 3, Aaron Rodgers dissected that. Like, he's just not dealing well with these exotic blitzes, because he's been out for a year. He still hasn't caught up quite yet. I think he's still scared to put weight on that Achilles. I mean, he just won't stand in the pocket. But a soft defense gets a cover 3 that's easy for him to dissect. I think this is going to be the best the Jets offense has looked will be in this one. I think this one flies over. So give me over 43.5.
I wanted to hit with the Colts scoring all 44 because I'm looking forward to some Tyrod Taylor chance there at MetLife. I'm going with the over 23.5 for your 2024 MVP of the National Football League, Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. I think that this is the week the narrative gets started. I don't know how much I truly believe that. Lamar's been incredible. There's been some really good players here, but he's been awesome, and he's been absolutely electric against the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. He hasn't beat them in the playoffs. We all know that, but the stats have been good. This is a week where I think we look around and you just go, can anybody beat Buffalo? And then we're going to have the same conversation in the middle of January.
Well, I'm taking Buffalo. Money line minus 130 on DraftKings. And it's for that reason. Like, Buffalo's had success against the Chiefs in the regular season. The Chiefs are coming off an emotional game against the Broncos where they had that last-second miracle. They stay undefeated. This Bills team's equipped to beat the Chiefs, man. They can ball control. This is the most physical unit that they've had in a while. It feels like Sean McDermott finally has kind of come through on what he wants the ethos to be with the different running backs. And Josh Allen's playing spectacular. And I do think, Tyson, there's starting to be some cracks in the old Steve Spagnuolo defense. Like, he's still the best defensive coordinator in my mind, but sometimes you got to have the Jimmies and Joes, man. And there has been some talent that's left that defense. I think the Bills take advantage. They win this football game.
In the weight of the undefeated record has got to start creeping into the minds of the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit, but they're resilient. We've seen them win 3 Super Bowls. Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm going under in the sloppiest game of the week. This is your sicko special here, Ravens and Steelers. These games are always weird. I might lose this off of strictly block punts and kick return touchdowns. That's where I'm scared. But Mike Tomlin's been really good against the Baltimore Ravens. I think this is him and Harbaugh's 36th time matching up. Does that sound correct? And I think it's 2015 Tomlin, which I think the Ravens have had a better team for a lot of those 36 matchups. So I think that's impressive. He's handled Lamar Jackson well. And at 48.5, I think I'm okay.
So you're taking the under. So I have 2 teasers to close out here. Both are involving the Bengals. So I'm going to take the Bengals up to 7.5 against the Chargers. Now that, it's primetime game on Sunday night. Joe Burrow's been really good as an underdog. So this is my favorite leg of the weekend. I think the Bengals compete here. Their offense is going to be able to score and move the ball against the Chargers. And I think maybe there's still some limitations for that Chargers offense. So I think our guy, Lou Anarumo, although that defense starting to get a little cooked recently, I think he's going to have something for Herbert, maybe slow him down a little bit. If they can stop the run, that'll be a huge thing. But the Steelers plus 9.5, come on. This type of game, Pete, I'll take those points any day, especially if Tyson thinks it's going to go under, fewer possessions. So that's my first teaser, Steelers plus 9.5, Bengals plus 7.5. I'm going to close out with Texans minus 1.5, Bengals plus 7.5, a little primetime teaser action. Like everything I just said for the Bengals, I love that. I'm going to try to use it twice here. And then Texans minus 1.5. I can't believe we're getting that against this Cowboys team. I mean, Trey Lance or Cooper Rush, really? I would expect Nico Collins to be back this week, wouldn't you?
He should be. I think that I could be mistaken here, but I believe that they've opened up the roster spot for him to return to the active roster, and all is well in Houston.
Well, so there we go. I think Houston's going to – and I think Will Anderson's supposed to be back here pretty soon, shortly as well.
Yeah, I was looking at the game specials here on FanDuel, Brad, for this one, and there are some Texans getting after the quarterback, some sack props here that I think could be worth a look.
Ooh, there we go. And
what are you naming these parlays this week?
Oh, yeah. So the NFC North teaser, and then this one's going to be the primetime teaser. So nothing too creative.
Oh, that's weak. Come on. You've been coming on here with some crazy stuff.
I know. I just didn't have anything this week, man. I didn't have any creative stuff. But that's it for me, man. I mean, what do you think? Am I going to be able to put back-to-back winning weeks together, for Christ's sake?
Absolutely. I think that you might go undefeated, but that just means I go undefeated and keep the T-box. That's how we're rolling here in the NFL version. Although in the college version, which just dropped as well, go check that out. Brad's been whooping my butt. I think that I don't know what's going on in college football. I'm lost. So if you want to follow somebody, it'll be Mr. Brad Wakai. It'll be in our Discord app. The link is in the bio. The group name is I Said What I Said. Tons of different channels in there. The NBA is rolling. LeBron with a 34-point triple-double. He turns 40 in a month and a half. What are we doing? So NBA stuff, anything you can think of, it's free. We'll let you write in. Let us know who you're betting on for your early window touchdowns, your late window touchdowns. And can somebody give me a play in South Carolina, Missouri?
Oh, I know, dude. Well, first of all, South Carolina has to win that game because they're America's team right now. We got to eliminate Missouri. That's just ridiculous. They cannot be in the college football playoff. But we will break all that down next week when we talk about everything that happened in the world of football in college and the NFL. That's why you guys stay subscribed. Smash that like button on the way out if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you to all the people who have already rated and reviewed us on Apple and Spotify. We do appreciate that. It's been awesome. Appreciate the support, of course. You guys sharing it with a friend, sharing it with an enemy. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but you guys are getting us out there. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and stay subscribed. Like I said, man, we got a ton of content. It's not just football either. We got basketball starting to cook up. That's our other big sport, and we got you covered for the NFL draft, but that's looking too far ahead. We're trying to make money. We're covering what happened. We'll be back next week. We hope you had a good weekend, and we'll speak to you guys early next week. Until then, peace.